The European Union just made a catastrophic mistake. In what they thought was a masterstroke of economic warfare, EU leaders seized $105 billion in Russian assets frozen since the Ukraine invasion began. They transferred the money to Ukraine as aid, compensation, and a symbol of Western resolve. It was supposed to cripple Russia, demonstrate Western unity, show that aggression has consequences. Instead, it triggered a Russian response so devastating that European governments are now quietly panicking. Russia didn't respond with military escalation. They didn't launch cyber attacks or cut off remaining energy supplies. They did something far more effective. They rewrote the rules of international finance in ways that will haunt Europe for decades. What I'm about to reveal isn't just about Russia and Ukraine. This is about the unraveling of the post-World War II financial order and Europe's role in its own economic destruction. Let me start with what the EU actually did. Since February 2022, when Russia invaded Ukraine, Western nations froze approximately $300 billion in Russian central bank reserves held in European and American financial institutions. This was unprecedented. Never before had the West frozen the sovereign assets of a major power on this scale. The legal justification was shaky. These weren't assets of individuals accused of crimes, but the reserves of a national central bank. For 2 years, these assets sat frozen. Russia demanded their return. The West refused, but actually seizing and transferring the assets required a legal framework that didn't quite exist. European lawyers warned that outright confiscation would violate international law, undermine the sanctity of sovereign reserves, and create dangerous precedents. Politicians ignored these warnings. In November 2025, the European Council voted to seize $105 billion of the frozen Russian assets and transfer them to a Ukraine reconstruction fund. The legal mechanism was creative. They declared the assets reparations for Russian aggression. The announcement was triumphant. EU leaders praised their own courage. Media celebrated the move as justice for Ukraine. Politicians competed to claim credit. Russia's initial response seemed muted. A few angry statements from the foreign ministry, promises of consequences, the usual rhetoric. Western analysts dismissed it as bluster. What could Russia actually do? They were already sanctioned, already isolated, already cut off from Western markets. This was the fatal miscalculation. Russia's retaliation came in 3 waves, each more devastating than the last. Wave 1, reciprocal asset seizure. Within 48 hours, Russia announced the nationalization of all European corporate assets on Russian territory. BP's stake in Rosneft. $14 billion, gone, nationalized. Shell's Russian operations, $3 billion, seized. Total Energies projects, $4 billion, confiscated. Societe Generale's banking operations, taken over. German automotive plants, Volkswagen, BMW, Mercedes facilities worth billions. Nationalized pharmaceutical operations, food processing facilities,